most of the time I have to go through something else and like confirm it through my phone, and then the PlayStation's like, okay, I'll play it for you now. You know, just like it's just so frustrating with this shit
That's
sometimes.
weird. I don't do that. Like, is that just for the Prime, or like is that for if you buy something?
If you buy something, like if I'm trying to get I mean if I'm trying to like watch or rent something on Amazon, it has trouble going through for whatever reason, so I have to confirm it on my phone sometimes. I mean, I can watch something, but like if it's like a movie I want to rent, it's like, oh, this isn't working right. Like, oh, fuck off, and I can't do it right there. I have to go on my phone and update it. It's always some stupid horse shit like that.
Yeah, like one of those things where it's like they just like, well, we don't want little Billy to fucking be able to just buy willy-nilly on there. It's like,
because Little Billy's the one that by this point, Little Billy's the only one that has a PlayStation.
I like how like on my for my parents' one up there, whatnot. Like I put the parental lock on it for him, so my dad wouldn't accidentally click something in the middle of the night and buy it. It just sounds funny. It's just like it got to that point where it's like, oh, he needs a parental lock on. And I remember my dad's like, well, make sure all the rated R movies are still on there, though. I'm like, well, the rated R movies are still there. It's just if you go to buy something, the code will come up.
Only one a week, though. Okay, Dad.
Yeah, you gotta leave those little things in there for him and whatnot. But no, I just think it's kind of funny. It's just like, it's like that kind of thing. It's just like there's like that turn. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay. No, well, I never had the parental lock when I was a kid. But I remember other people's houses had it, and it was fucking terrible.
I never had a parental lock because I was also one of those kids that never really watched rated R movies or watched stuff or played games as parents didn't want to play. There'd be those every so often, those ones that would, but I'd be so like deathly afraid. Like I remember when South Park came on HBO.
Yeah,
I remember for whatever reason.
Oh, the movie. I got you.
The movie. I meant the movie.
Okay, because I was like HBO.
Yeah, I meant the movie. I remember when that came on HBO. I was just, for whatever reason, it took a little longer than the remote that it did just to stand over there and do it manually, which no one does anymore. But for whatever reason, there's a little bit of delay, and I was so afraid my parents were gonna walk in the living room that I literally watched the movie like in like half a foot away from the TV, watching it with my hand like hovering above like the like channel up.
Or like it's like the best one always was like to have the go back button on there, so it's like, you know, because if you just channel up, you don't know where you could end up at Showtime, or you could end up at like, you know, Skinamax. So it could be even worse where you land.
Oh, this is like 5 o'clock in like, you know, the evening, so Skinamax wouldn't have been on yet, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean, because that pathway, because it starts with HBO and it leads to God knows where, but yeah, kind of like being a child, we decided, hey, let's go back in time to these other glorious time periods, which I've realized that by doing this, we keep going to weddings, oddly enough.
Yeah, it almost seems kind of like, you know, we're looking back at all these things from childhood, whether it be new or old, and it just seems like, here, prepping you up for this.
Yeah, it's just like, it's weird. It's just like the last 3 things we had, there's a big scene in it that's a wedding, and some of these ones, even the wedding's like bigger than anything else. Shit, almost even more than that. It's even like the last almost 5 have had it. I guess it's, you know, the Super Mario 2 comic did. But you know what we're talking about? Doing a Mario marathon for Mario May here, and this is Old Man Orange Podcast. And I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunnigan. And before we get too far into this, I just want to give a heads up. In the podcast feed, we have our new show, Octatalk Rock. It's still kind of a little bit of an experiment. It's a show I'm doing with my friend James, and we just more like, we stick to a topic on this, but I guess on that show it's a bit broader topics, and different hosts, different show essentially. So we're just trying something a little different. It might be like, you know, bi-weekly or something like that. So just playing around with that. So that's in the podcast feed, but 3 episodes in or so, probably going to switch over and give it its own channel and whatnot. So yeah. Anyway, but we're still doing Old Man Orange, and yeah, so we're keeping, like you said, we're still doing this Mario May. And this is actually a book I did before when we were doing that solo comic book podcast for a minute, but barely anybody listened to that, so I might as well pick this thing back up and go over it again.
Well, it's like we only had it like on Newgrounds, and I guess YouTube or something like that. But it was like those like ideas. It's like, it's kind of fun when you like stem back to like the podcast. You go like, what were some of those other things we tried to do? Like, oh, single person episodes and so on like that. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's just that one where after a while, I think you just get to the point where you're like, oh, I only got enough time in the day for so much.
Yeah, I mean, we got about like 4 episodes into that, or 4 or 5, and actually I had a 5th episode almost ready to go, but I just never really finished editing it. So I'm like, fuck it, what's the point by now? But we already covered we already covered 4 Kids four kids walk into a bank already. So I'm like, no sense of putting it up now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like an airline fucking taking off.
Oh no, we got like just people riding. I live in Oakland now. We got people riding back and forth on like motorbikes down our street.
Oh, nice.
Daily.
That's always fun.
It is what it is.
You know, but
Cheaper rent for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. I got motorbikes that ride next to me too, so I guess it doesn't matter where you are in life. There's always somebody on a motorcycle.
You wouldn't think it. Well, not like not like obviously from the sound of it, not like a Harley or Cruiser or anything like that, but definitely the type of bikes you would here up in Sonora.
Yeah, you get like a 2-stroke instead, and just always sounds like somebody doesn't know how to shift gears. That's what it always sounds like. Just like you almost kind of want to go out there and be like, you gonna shift yet, or like you just gonna let that gear just ride as far as it can go? How loud are you gonna get that bike?
I think they just like the noise. I think there's just something about when you actually sit on the bike, there's this primal thing like, it sounds so loud, it's so awesome. I think people but everybody around it's like, dude, fucking shift already, fuck.
I think it's like playing guitar or something like that. You know, like if you're the person playing guitar on like an amp, you don't really notice it, but sometimes like I was like, dude, is that guy gonna have to turn that fucking shit down? Like, come on. Fucking jackass. Yeah. But Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Mario Brothers. So it's funny enough, I'll reiterate this part. So this book actually came out probably as far back when I was like in kindergarten or something like that. And I remember being on the playground and some kid had a Nintendo Power and he was flipping through it. And this is one of those points where, the one kid would have Nintendo Power, like, oh, what? I got to make friends with this kid, And I remember flipping through, like, okay, cool, magazine about video games. And then he gets to the very end of the book and there's a Mario comics. Like, what? My mind was just blown. And there are certain things flipping through because it was like second to last issue as far as I recognize in here. It's like, oh my god, this book looks fucking amazing. And then never saw it or heard from it again, never saw anything for it. The one day I was walking through a used bookstore and this book was ironically the new in there, but yeah, anyway, I just walked by. I'm like, a Mario Brothers, what's this? And I just pulled it up. I'm like, oh my god, the Mario Brothers comic book? And I just flipped through. I'm like, oh my god, this is the book from kindergarten. I remember a couple of these panels. So I was just like, oh my god, this is that book. So I just took it home and read it, and read it expecting it to be like, just kind of like, all right, it's a kid's book, but it's a little dose of nostalgia. And yeah, it is a kid's book. But at the same time, it's surprisingly really funny in certain parts, and you'd be surprised, like, oh, that's a little wittier than I assumed this thing would be, and not like they snuck in a dick joke somehow in there. But I mean, it's just like kind of a little bit more tongue-in-cheek than you'd expect to be, a little wittier than most comics aimed at just mainly sell toy at this point, which they just viewed a Super Nintendo just as a toy. They didn't view it as an entertainment system really by that point.
Yeah, it kind of was like that, Or in Japan, they call it a computer, but, even the people are like, it's not a fucking computer. Don't you fucking call that thing a computer. But no, it's kind of cool because they did that for a couple of them. They also did the Zelda one, too, where they took the Nintendo Power comics and they, like, combined them all together into just a big fat graphic novel. And it's like...
I got that one, too.
That one's sick. I know there's Metroid comics and so on. Like, I know if I went and looked through my Nintendo Powers, I could probably find some of these ones in there and whatnot. And I even did the thing where I like bought back issues back in the day. I was like, on eBay, it's like $20 for like fucking like 1990 to like 98. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I would. The Zelda one was really the Zelda one was good. That was actually the first one I came across. This Mario one next. Both came out by Viz Media. I wonder if they'll ever put up the Star Fox one or the Metroid one, but because I know those aren't as big a names as Mario and Zelda, but at the same time, you never know. So. Reading the book, I kind of, it was like one of these things where if you like Mario Brothers, this is definitely like, let me speak it this way. If you like Mario Brothers lore and you like kind of looking into Mario Brothers history and all that kind of thing, this is a definite must-get book. If you never gave a shit about Mario Brothers or you just played the game, like, oh, the game's fun, I play Mario Kart with my girlfriend once in a while, if that's all it is, then this book's not going to like blow your mind. But regardless, I still think it's a really interesting, fun book. And this is actually... because I'll say this is like probably the best interpretation of Princess Peach, which sounds very weird saying that, but they make her a badass in this book.
Yeah, I know. This is kind of like one of those ones where it's just like, yeah, and even like the very beginning, like Mario and Luigi kind of like almost like fuck up, and then Princess Peach is like, fuck it, I'm doing it on my own. I'm just going to jump out this window face first.
that George Thorogood song as I do it. Yeah, because what ends up happening is we're gonna go into spoilers here, folks. So basically, this is actually a manga, realist. Well, not like a black and white manga, but it's a manga artist. And
it probably was a black and white manga. Then they're like, hey, could you whip some of these comics in like fucking Nintendo Power? They're like, we ain't fucking putting them in there unless you fucking colorize that shit.
Probably. I'm like, all right, get the colorist, bring him in. And this whole thing right here, the thing about it is, they're distinctively, obviously Mario, but as Mario's gone on over the years, he's kind of looked less like. When you look at these kind of things, you definitely see the Japanese influence in this. But you look at Mario now, and like, yeah, it might be a Japanese character, but by this point, he's so fine-tuned and group-focused, he looks a little different. You know him when you see him, but there's just something about him. Where here, I'm not gonna say it looks really rough. I mean, some parts it looks a little rough, but they use a lot of those anime expressions, a lot of those anime like over exaggerations and certain things, like, you know, the sweat drops, and when someone's stressed or kind of worried, they have the black lines just kind of go down their face.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's just kind of interesting seeing these characters like that, because by this point in our lives, we're so used to seeing them fine-tuned to more or less CG characters. I mean, I just got Super Mario Maker 2,
mm-hmm.
and I've been playing that. I noticed when people put little stickers in, they have those retro stickers from basically the Mario World era, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. It's just one of those things that always, whenever I see 2D Mario, it's always like 2D art style Mario. It's always a blast to the past.
They got like that kind of like watercolor look and everything to them too.
Kind of that, yeah.
Well, there's like this. It sounds kind of weird. It's a little bit off top, but it's kind of like the same time period. There's this guide that I have that I remember it being like just one of the coolest things ever. Now, granted, there's like Mario encyclopedias and so on out now, but when Mario World came out, it was a Mario World guide, but like the whole beginning of it was like a history of Mario, which sounds kind of weird because at this point it's like a 10-year history. That's about it. But it was just like, oh my god, it like went through like so much details, you know. It just had, you know, from, you know, Donkey Kong all the way up to Mario World and all the characters, all the bad guys. It had the toys and just different merchandise that, like, as a kid you're like, where the fuck was this? That's all I have to say. I never saw this. They're like, well, yeah, it was at FAO Schwartz in New York. Where the fuck were you? It's like, not at FAO Schwartz in New York. Fuck you.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of like Mario toys when we were kids. They were out there, but there wasn't a whole lot of them, or they weren't wide released. And I could probably see it just being some, you know, businessman being like, it's not G.I. Joe, it's not that transforming robot shit. I don't get it. Kids will be over it in a fucking year when this video game thing crashes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like there's a catalog I have from around the same time period, give or take, maybe like 91 or so, maybe not even 1990. I can't remember if it came out of like a guide that I found at some point, or if it was from an actual Nintendo Power magazine. But it's like a catalog of all this shit you would have like murdered your entire school to have. Like, I kid you not, like, it's like, oh my god, there's Mario fucking, like, bed sheets and, like, fucking Samus, like, curtains. And, like, it's those things where, like, you see this kid's room and it's just, like, everything's just, like, Nintendo-ified to the max. There's even, like, a fucking, like, dead Sonic the Hedgehog, like, bear mat, like, on the ground. Just be like, yeah, we fucking killed it for you. It's supposed to go in your bathroom, you know where you kind of, like, put the rug up, but you put, like, his legs around the toilet. But it's like, you see this stuff, it's like, oh my god, like, this is like that kind of thing, like, it's that thing that, like, almost like if you were an adult with this, like, let's say that you were the adult as you are now, but you time traveled back to 1991, you would have bought that entire catalog. You would have been like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like, all this stuff is mine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when it was just that point where you just didn't find that kind of stuff. It's like, almost like you see this, you're like, dude, there's so much sick merchandise there. It's just like random stuff like Mario clocks, you know, and just like I guess all those kind of games of the time, Zelda stuff and so on. Just like, it's so cool.
Yeah. You said Metroid stuff? That's something you never even hear about this. We never see Metroid merchandise. Maybe a random action figure or something, but that's about it, you know?
Well, because it was all like generally NES stuff. So you're thinking all like the Nintendo big NES games, you know. We're still at a time before Star Fox, you know, before Yoshi and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of like Mario, Metroid, Zelda. There's some other stuff. I hadn't looked at it for a while, but Yeah, it was just one of those ones where it's just like, dude, like this stuff would be so fucking cool to have.
And this book is one of those things where it definitely takes you back to that time, and it kind of it everything in this book it kind of holds on to for the most part with current Mario stuff, because sometimes you look through. I remember I had an old Mario picture book just about just a basic story. Oh, they came to the Mushroom King. It was like a simple little 12-page book. Like they come to the Mushroom Kingdom and Koopa comes in and tries to stop them and keep them there, and just a lot of the stuff they just kind of dismiss, like this character or that character never comes back. Most of the stuff in here, with the exception of a few things, stay in like Mario lore, and some of these things I wish they kept. But essentially, it opens up with spoilers ahead. Mario Brothers are already in the Mushroom Kingdom, and aside from big adventurers, they're already like the go-to plumbers in the whole area. And they're called to go in to help well, before she's called Princess Peach. Just call her Princess in this. They go to her castle, and I kind of like how like they're doing this dumb little like song as they're walking by, and that's like, okay, all right, whatever, it's for the times. They had to explain to the kids. And then I like how like the Toads, as soon as Mario gets, they're like, all right, people, make way, professionals are here. It's like they just called in like the FBI agent.
Well, I love there's like one Toad slide down there, like he was attempted to put this back together, and he probably just made it worse. There's just pipes going all kinds of different directions, and it's leaking out and so on. Be like, okay, the princess. Here's the thing. We're going to tell you what really happened, but don't you dare let her know. She's the one that clogged this up here.
She's going to guillotine us all, including you, if you know, all right? So,
it's not the first time a Toad's been shoved down a toilet. Let me just say this. And yes, I said Toad, not a turd. Just to clarify there. And it's just like, oh, out of the way, Toad. Let a fucking professional get here. I don't mind. I've been knee deep in the dead of the fucking sewers my entire life.
This was my jungle gym. There's a whole. No, I just imagine like there's that whole part of Mario RPG where you find Princess Peach's secret thing. We don't know what it is. Yeah. Then the handmaiden comes up. She's like, Mario, forget you saw anything. Here's a mushroom. Or if Princess sees it, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't go into a lady's room like that. If it was anybody else, you'd be fucking dead. This is your one fucking warning.
You wonder why Luigi ain't fucking here? Guess what he did? Guess what he fucking did? Princess, why you got that Brooklyn accent? I got it from hanging out with you.
Like, so basically the corpse of a Toad probably just got jammed in the pipes or whatever. Like, no one could ever know Toad. And she didn't like call in her servants to do it for her. She just like, oh, Princess, I found this. Oh, don't worry about it. She goes to the door, just locks it, and slowly turns. Like that part in like Blade Runner where after Rutger Hauer kills the rich guy, turns like the tinker guy. He's like, I'm sorry, Jonathan, with his hands out and walks towards them as he runs into the other room. Same thing here.
Exactly. Clearing out these fucking pipes and whatnot.
She pulls out her like frying pan, like it's the only way, Toad number 438. No, Princess!
Just fucking no music. It's like a long, far away shot. You just see fucking Princess Peach.
It's like that shot in like Texas Chainsaw where you see the guy slam the door after he gets pulled in. Just from the other room, you just don't even see the guy so much. You see her just whacking away.
The Toad's fucking on the ground, like twitching. She hits it one more time, it stops.
She's not crying or nothing. She's breathing heavy, just like just wipes some blood off her face. Like, it had to be done.
It's over. He's dead. We won't speak of this ever again. Lock it up.
Gets on the phone, like just goes to the red phone, like Toadsworth, call the plumbers. You'll know why in a minute. Anyway, so they're unclogging this whole drain. It gets ridiculously all like tangled and messed up. And in this whole thing, Luigi's kind of fumbling around and Mario just does it with ease. And so right here they're already showing the dynamic. But then out of nowhere, this one pipe pops out of the ground like, hey, this wasn't here before. Then a few more pipes pop out of the ground. And a piranha plant comes out and bites Mario's nose. And this is actually where I think, because I was already, when I first got the book, I went through and I was like, okay, it's artwork. It's nice artwork. It looks good. And it's reminiscent, but this is where I'm like, okay, maybe this book's going to be a little bit different than I assume. The very bottom, one of the bottom panels of the early pages, when all these pipes start shooting out of the ground, they have this super detailed like picture of Mario, like he's a regular man. He's like doing like a Dragon Ball Z scream.
I want like a poster of that on my wall, just like that panel, no explanation, where it just says, "Oh no, it's Piperama."
Well, here's the thing.
Like
now
a
you
huge fucking movie poster size that picture. Or that's the one be perfect where like you put on the back side of the bathroom door, so when you close, it's like, oh shit, it's Piperama.
Well, here's the thing about that. A lot of now you'll see a lot of like Mario stuff where it's you'll see a lot of like Mario fan art stuff, and it's like super detailed Mario fighting like Nightmare Fuel Bowser essentially. Mm-hmm. But that's not what this is. This is something that's not Nintendo licensed, and it's Mario basically drawn like one of these fan art things you'll see somewhere on Instagram, you know? So, and I just think that was the first thing in here. I was like, okay, maybe this book's going to be a little different than what I initially assumed. And I start flipping through, and Peach just playing like video games, and from there that's where all and they look out the window like, oh, what the fuck, and they just see all these different enemies from the game popping out, and Bowser essentially comes in and just says, oh, hey, you want this to stop? Well, you gotta marry me. That's the case. He's like, fuck you, I ain't fucking happening. Like, Peach doesn't fuck around in this book.
Yeah, she's just like fucking serious, like, don't you fucking dare tell me who I fucking marry. I'm fucking Princess fucking Toadstool. This shit ain't gonna cut it. She just starts chucking fucking toads at him, like, get the fuck out of here. Don't you fucking dare come here.
No, to the point of, like, you know, he then turns, like, a bunch of people into stone, and she literally jumps out her window, like, that motherfucker! You know, like, one of the last things, because someone's like, Mario, help me! But this one, she's like, oh, that guy's getting so skull-fucked, you know? So then, Bowser and the Koopalings are just basically talking shit, and Bowser's just like, oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen, so if you want me to turn everyone back to normal, you gotta marry me. And then at some point it's funny, as he's doing all the turning people to stone and shit, it's just like, oh my god, the stone's so powerful, it even turned their word bubbles into stone, because they have the wahs.
It's got that little bit of humor just right there.
Yeah. So then she dives after him, like jumps out a window and just tracks him down. But it's kind of funny, some of the small, because I know it's kind of slapsticky, but there's some of the minor just things that you don't really see, like really visual humor stuff. Like when Bowser suddenly blows her a kiss, he suddenly has like his features suddenly look a lot softer. He has like anime girl eyes for a minute, you know?
Yeah, I know. They really kind of have Bowser having kind of like goofy kind of looks here and there. I mean, he comes in, he's fucking rapping. That's what he's doing. Like, with a mic and everything, like, yo, princess, let me tell you, I got a song for you.
Yeah, so there's some shit like that. Like, okay, and in the process, Mario got, like, turned into stone or something. But then from there, what ends up happening is they have the most Chinese, stereotypical Chinese dude right here. Which is, he's Japanese. He's actually a Japanese dude, but I think, because he says he trained at Mount Fuji or something, wasn't he?
It does say that, but that always reminds me of that thing where, it's that weird, like, back in the old American days that they just got Chinese. So are you Chinese or are you Japanese? Like, they're confused. You know what I mean? Because I really think that guy's he's got the shoes like he's Japanese, but, like, the yin-yang thing, I always think of that as more being Chinese, and he's got the mustache, like Fu Manchu kind of thing. So I'm really going he's more Chinese, but I think it's that kind of thing. It's like, all right, karate school, right? Same fucking thing.
He also has one diamond tooth. That's another thing to point out.
Yeah, but I think it's like sometimes, like, in the old days, it's like, karate, kung fu, what the fuck's the difference?
Well, they're probably like, we're making this thing for Americas. They don't know the fucking difference. Throw it out there.
We're making this thing for Americas. Be like, oh, well, fuck it, it's Americas. You know what I mean? Like, shit.
Yeah, there's Americas. They don't get it.
American, Canadian, Mexican, South American. Shit, I don't fucking know.
One of them. One of them's gonna buy it. I don't know which one. We'll figure it out later. Just throw it over there. They'll like it.
It's always when I see those like translations, I think from like whether it be like an old video game or like these kind of like comics and so on that come from Japan. Sometimes I always kind of wonder if they just kind of write that shit and they're like, who the fuck? It probably was. In Japan is probably all normal, but for some, because probably in Japan they're probably like making fun of Chinese people. Let's be honest, they're fucking Japanese.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Just like, let's be, any Chinese movie you watch, the Japanese are mostly always the bad guys.
Yeah, usually it's vice versa. Yeah, if you watch any Chinese martial arts movie, a lot of times Japanese are bad guys and vice versa.
It's like
actually Japanese are a little bit more chill about it though, because there are certain characters because they really like to put Chun-Li in the forefront of Street Fighter. So every so often there's exceptions.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, yeah.
But in China, it's mostly like, we have not forgot. Fuck you and your World War II.
Japan's like, oh, have you guys played Street Fighter? Yeah, what about it? Well, Chun-Li, a Chinese woman, is the strongest woman in the world. Fuck Chun-Li! Like, oh, okay, you're still, all right, not over it yet.
You're still over that. That was a different time period. It was our grandparents. Our grandparents, you know how grandparents are. They get a little bit rapey and a little bit, taking over places and,
Oh, we don't know what our grandparents were like.
Yeah. Oh, well, our grandparents came back and they said they had a hell of a time, but I guess it wasn't the same for you. But, well, Chun-Li, see you later.
We'll check up with you in like 5 to 6 years. We'll come out with 2 more characters, Yin and Yoon. Yoon and Yang.
We'll get their names correct at some point.
We're figuring it out.
But whatever.
Anyway.
What I learned from this Mario comic, though, is if you ever get stoned, the way to get back to health is to get a nice Chinese guy who's might trained at a Japanese school to massage you like a maniac, and that's how you turn back.
And from there, they go down one of these pipes, and they just end up right in in another country, essentially. Basically, it's all Mushroom Kingdom shit. It's all green. It's all mushrooms and shit. But they get there, and that's when they come across an egg, and they're like, Luigi's like, oh, shit. We need to fry this thing. I'm fucking starving. Mario's like, we got shit to do. Like, what are you always thinking with your fucking stomach, Luigi? No wonder you haven't got shit done, And then...
They call me the fucking fat one. Look at you. You're always eating. You're like that dog on that Scooby-Doo show that you always fucking watch, Luigi. How fucking old are you? I love that. There's a great line though, like on the start, like the next page where Yoshi fucking pops out, and I will say this: like the way that Yoshi's fucking expressions are drawn throughout this entire book are fucking classic. But there's a part where Mario's looking at Yoshi, and he's like, "I don't like the way it's looking at us, Luigi." Yoshi's just got this like look, his eyelids are down, like, yeah, what you guys gonna do?
It looks like. Where are you guys going? No, so essentially what ends up happening is they try to, Mario's stomach's growl. He's like, all right, fine, fuck it. We'll eat it real quick. They decide to hard boil it. So they just put the egg over a fire, and then Yoshi pops out. We're on to the next page. And they're all freaked out. And Yoshi just has the stone look like, yeah, man, what's going on? He has the total Matthew McConaughey look. Like, hey, what y'all plumbers doing?
I know, and he's just like slowly walking up to him, like clomp, clomp, clomp.
It's Yoshi, but just from the look on his. If this is the first time you saw this thing, you would be like, "What the fuck?" And Mario does say, "I don't like the way it's looking at us," and that's what they just have this. They have some cheesy puns. There's something we forgot to mention earlier. They had. When Peach went running after Bowser, she brought her, green beret toads. They all have, mustaches, aviator sunglasses, military jackets. They all got spears. We're the ones that don't fuck around. Actually, one of them has a Hitler stash.
Does he?
One of them does, yeah. They all have different stashes. One has a preview stash, one has a quasi-Mario stash, one has a Hitler stash. And they're walking through, a desert, and then that's where a bunch of those dudes in the clouds, Ludikai or Lakudi, whatever the fuck they're called, start dropping spikes down on them.
The little spiny guys coming down at him and whatnot. Oh, yeah, that guy does have a fucking Hitler mustache. What's up with that? Well, you know what? It could be a Charlie Chaplin mustache. That's what I always kind of say.
It's kind of hard for Charlie to take it back, really.
I know.
It's one of those things. I know that it was around the same time, just about.
Do you think Charlie like would like? I'm trying to think what year he passed away, but like one of those ones, like there was that moment. He's like, "No, fuck you. I was wearing it first. Shit, I got fucking movies to prove it."
Or like even to the point of like Charlie's just like, you know what? Maybe it's time I let it grow to a beard. I'm just gonna say it. Maybe it ain't worth defending every other day.
He just grows it really fucking long.
Just like a strip that hangs. He has to like lift it up every time he wants to eat.
Yeah.
Just this goes past his chin, just dangles there.
Fucking
Whenever he
lifts
talks,
up
like flaps.
Yeah. like it's like a fucking tail. He's like, it's got a mind of its own.
Trains it like he just puts a plate of food up to his mouth. He just trains it to just like grab a piece of food, put it into his mouth. Like no,
But I love later in this book. They're at this point where this like fucking like they're like Luigi's like, oh shit, it's a king size caterpillar. And Mario's first reaction is like, hold on, Luigi, I got this. Fucking stomp on its head. You fucking dirty smiling bug! Don't you fucking look at me.
Well, the thing is, when it comes out, because in the game, yeah, those things hurt you. But in this, it's just really walking by. Like, it's giant. Like, oh, hi, guys.
It's looking all fucking literally like 1920s.
Like, hey, guys, God bless. You know, and then like Mario's like, what the fuck you say to me? Like, stomps on it. And then it's like, oh, what the fuck? And like, turns all fucking hulkish and starts... When they put veins on this thing, that adds another dimension of it. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, it loses its like fucking 1920s like fucking happy-go-lucky charm. It's just like, oh fuck you guys, fuck you and your Italianness.
We forgot to mention at some point when Yoshi just corners Luigi, he licks his ass. So that's one quick thing right there. So it's like, oh, then this is
and it's got like he's got the weird things like, hey. Bleh.
It has the hey man kind of look on his face. And then that's where they're running away from the caterpillar, and then Yoshi's like, oh shit, we're cornered by him. And that's where Yoshi just eats the thing. And then they...
This guy said, I love the part where Luigi's running away after he gets his ass licked, like he had just been violated so bad.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know where that can go. That is one of those things where like Mario just has this look as he's like hiding behind a bush, like, fuck him, he's on his own. He was always dead weight anyway.
You know, I'm not stopping that dinosaur from raping him if that's what he wants. Shit, I saw an early draft of Jurassic Park. I know what Steven's up to.
And then basically that's where he corners him, and he's just like, oh, he seems nice. He hasn't tried to eat us, and he gestures to his back, and he's just like, okay, I guess we're hopping on this thing's back, and that's where you take him to Yoshi Village, and I guess this was an interesting thing because this is like, oh my, Yoshi's this dude hasn't. What?
Before we go to Yoshi's Village, this is one of my I know I could probably mention this a lot, but this is my favorite Yoshi moments is when they jump on Yoshi's back. There's a picture of Yoshi, and he's got like the rising sun flag appears behind him, and his eyes are crossed looking up. He's like, Yoshi. And it goes, clop, 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 clop.
For Japan.
It's just so weird. It's like, oh yeah, fucking you jump on that back right there. Okay, I'll carry you boys along.
That's his war cry. That's why he has the rising sun behind him. No, but I'm gonna say this. I just noticed this for the first time. I'm looking at all the different Yoshis in Yoshi Island. You know, you got the young ones and the older ones and this and that.
And the 90s as fuck one sitting on top of the roof.
Yeah. Probably just got done watching like Nickelodeon. His dad told him to go take care of the roof. He's like, "Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna go eat apples instead." You know,
I'm gonna eat these apples off the roof and not fucking repair it.
This dude has a thing with Hitler stashes. There's a yellow Yoshi in the right-hand corner of that panel with a Hitler stash.
Oh, yeah, he does. I don't even know why Yoshi even has any mustache.
Like, ignore him. That's Hans. He kind of keeps to himself.
Cool, yeah, because then there's another Yoshi with like the Fu Manchu kind of mustache, too. So it's just like, oh, okay. So
there's hippie mother Yoshi who has like she looks like she listens to a lot of NPR. She has a head rag, probably like dangles crystals and shit, you know.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like she only buys local. She's like, I don't trust anything in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh my God, there's some brave ass birds walking right through there that are not getting devoured.
Yeah, I know. As like two fucking Yoshis fight with sticks on like there too.
Yeah, I guess it's their way of showing, oh yeah, these things are nice. And then we have this guy who we never see again, but one of these old-fashioned, like, 1940s, 50s style, like door-to-door traveling salesman types, his name Floyd.
He's like, hi, I'm Friendly Floyd. Would you guys like a toothbrush?
I don't know. I think it'd be funny if he's like, I don't know even how I wound up here. I'm just here now, you know? Because he's totally out of place for everything else in Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, he's like that kind of guy. He's like, one day I was walking in fucking New York, going to Brooklyn, and shit, I fell into a fucking pipe. It literally worked here. I've been here ever since, but it's a great place for sales. You know what I mean? Oh, you look like
I don't know what the fuck I'm selling, so it's like exotic. It's all imports to them, so it's amazing.
Yeah.
So basically, he's just this, shystery like salesman, and he knows how to speak Yoshi. And he basically says like, wait, this thing was in an egg. How is it? It was just born. Like, no. He was put into a curse, and you freed him. He's basically the leader of the Yoshis here. So, and he's walking back. Everyone's just kind of like, oh, hey, Frank. Hey, Yoshi. How you doing?
Yeah, just like, they don't even question this guy being here. It's like, yeah, he's kind of freeloaded a little bit, but, you know how Yoshis sort of are.
They seem to just like, as long as they have something to eat, they're pretty chill,
Mm-hmm.
But then, he says to him, they're just trying to figure out how to get back. Like, all right, well, we know Bowser's Castle's probably not too far away. Let's ask these things about it. Like, oh, I got a handy, like, how to speak Yoshi book with me. Like, oh, awesome, give it here. And then they say, all right, bye, takes off. And they flip through it. And then it just like, it shows like just this little diagram. This is another joke I thought was pretty good. It's just like, it says, here's how to say hello. It just shows a guy, hello. Then it shows a Yoshi. Yoshi. Then it shows like a girl. How are you? Then it shows a girl Yoshi. Yoshi. Fine, thank you. Yoshi.
It's like, oh, when I get my hands on fucking Friendly Floyd.
He's gonna be sleeping with the fishes. Got a pair of cement shoes for that motherfucker.
Come on, Luigi. We're gonna kill us a salesman.
I got a death of a salesman for you right here.
Yeah.
So then from there, that's where one of the last remaining Green Beret toads come walking back like, they came from all angles. They came from all angles.
Slow down before you fucking die on us. Where's the fucking princess at? Where's Bowser's keep?
And from there we jump over to the Koopa kids. They have their own little castle separate from Bowser's. Basically their playpen, more or less.
Like the fucking Titan's tower out there.
It does, yeah. And they're just playing like a version of Mario where you play as Bowser and you're just killing a bunch of Marios at once. And I know it's just a dumb whatever kind of thing, but I can't help but find it kind of funny. You show Bowser jumping on one Mario and then kicking him through a bunch of others like a turtle shell through all these others. That's not how it works, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Good enough. And of course, then Bowser appears on the TV like, you fucking kids, you're playing the goddamn, games again? Like, no, Dad, no, we're not. And then they just start fucking, like, fine-tuning it, like, look at his fucking face. It's like that. It's like the early stages, like, facelifting, like Mario Party.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. And that's where he says, like, all right, just keep an eye on Peach. And then they go in there, and then she's basically doing that thing in, like, Matrix, or even Spider-Man 1, where he's up against the ceiling doing that thing. Or there's that one part in Matrix 1 when, like, when Morpheus fights Agent Smith and he just does that weird Spider-Man thing as well, like on the side.
I know, it's like they go in there, it's like, oh, where's the fucking princess at? And it's like, she's just up there, it's like, oh shit, she's fucking pulling a fast one on us. Solid Snake style even.
She jumps down, smacks a bunch of them, and then she gets cut. I don't know where. It may be in one of the cartoons or something. She was called Cutie Pie, but I forgot. She's called Wendy. That's this character's name. The girl Koopaling.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I know he totally said Cutie, but yeah, I know.
I think in one of the cartoons she was called that, maybe, or maybe I'm just mixing up characters. I don't know.
No, I know I've heard that somewhere, but you know how sometimes there's like that period too where like we get almost like multiple translations and everybody thinks they're fucking right.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's just basically outrunning Wendy and all these Koopas, and then she basically goes into Wendy's room, and it just looks this very nice, furnished room and all that, and She has a Kappa stuffed animal, but and this is definitely one of those very like it's because they're girls. She comes across like a dress like she's like stand back or gets it like no stop. You see she's holding like a dress. It's like no don't I love that's my favorite dress. Don't do it. Like I'll do it. I'll rip it up.
That's what I mean. I feel like Peach is like, I know how to fucking get to her. Fucking go through her closet, take her favorite dress.
And that's where that's when the other Koopalings get in there. They chase her out, and then she trips and falls out the window with like some yellow curtains, but that more or less makes the cape, so she's able to fly out of there essentially.
Yeah, and then it's like well, she just like takes off flying, like oh man, I'm flying away on a cape and whatnot, and escapes the castle, the Teen Titans Tower of their place.
And then we cut back because we forgot to mention Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Green Beret Toad, and Floyd.
If fucking Friendly Floyd is back.
They're all trying to get across this moat, and they can't do it because they have these spike fish in there. So, and they see Floyd selling like lipstick to a piranha plant. It's like, this guy's got people skills. All right.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you're gonna get fucked tonight. Believe me. When you go clubbing, you don't want to be anywhere without this lipstick. Friendly Floyd would know.
Those piranha plants that like hover off the ground and fly for a second, they're all gonna be all over you. Those are like the big dick swinging of the piranha plants.
She'll be sucking your vine all night, I tell you. Friendly Floyd knows. He's one of the few humans that's ever fucked a piranha plant and lived to tell about it.
Says, hey, they have softer lips than you'd expect. Anyway, so Mario somehow like bumps into a cannon, like Luigi sits on it. Mario's like, get off that thing! And it bumps, and he gets shot by a bullet bill, which you think would just go through him, and like, what if it just like this hole through Mario's like, like super gory and violent.
Luigi's just like, oh, Mario, I just killed you! Oh.
He's just like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh my god! Oh my god! Like, it turns into like an intense drama. The Green Beret Toad sees it, starts having like flashbacks.
Luigi starts to tell Yoshi's like, you gotta fucking eat him. You gotta eat him. You gotta take the evidence away.
Yoshi's like, no, it was all backing away like, you're always fucking hungry, Yoshi. This is the one free meal you're getting. Just eat him. Just eat him. Just runs off into the woods like, we gotta kill him. He can't tell nobody. Like, what up, Princess? Fuck Princess. I'm not going to prison. I'll get eaten alive.
You're like, she's not my princess. Toad's like, she's mine. Well, fuck you and your princess.
That's where he takes
shoots the Toad right in the fucking head. Like, oh god.
He's weak. He takes his spear. He starts to choke him out with his own spear. Like, it's okay. It's okay. And then like flings him. The body just goes limp right into the water. Just like pushes him away.
The fucking fish jump up and just eat the Toad body. It sinks to the bottom.
Luigi just rolls up his like sleeves. Like, okay, time to be a man. Like my big brother said. He just goes walking into the woods with a spear after Yoshi. Just turns into this very dark. It's like we totally forget about the whole Bowser plot line. We never come back to that.
Yeah, as I say, never comes back to it.
Just turns into this slow burn, like psychological horror quasi art film.
Just like this, like almost like Predator type movie, but instead it's just like back and forth, kind of cut back actions of just like Predator and prey hunting each other.
Like minimal dialogue, Toad comes across, like Luigi comes across, like a family of like Goombas that are separate from Koopa's army. They're just enjoying themselves, and just like Luigi goes, and just murders them and leaves them strung up for bait for Yoshi,
Skins them, fucking has them all hanging there.
He's wearing one as a hat. That's how you get that new upgrade from Mario Maker 2 with a Goomba suit.
Yeah, exactly.
He just Men in Black'd that thing.
But as this story goes on, we realize that Bowser's, kind of getting rapey with it.
Well, as we go on, Mario gets shot directly into the castle, so he's right in the Koopalings' clutches. Peach lands with Luigi and all them, and then Bowser's just like, she got away? What? Like, well, we got Mario, so it all panned out, but don't worry, we'll get her back. And then
Mario gets caught a lot in this one you think about it.
Yeah. It's very evened out. It's kind of a trade-off. It's either Mario or Peach. And then they send those little. There's those little whatchamacallit, those little like
the robot Koopa Troopas. I can't remember. They have a special name, but
they're those things Bowser throws out of his out of his like hovercraft thing in Mario World.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he throws those things out, and they basically just say, "Hey, if you don't bring Princess back, we're gonna kill Mario. You got this much time."
And then they literally like barf out like a flaming fucking Mario doll.
Yeah.
It's like very anonymous, like, he's fucking dead if you don't show up.
Booster's like, "That's my Mario doll."
Just starts fucking humping down the ground. It's like, oh god, what the fuck is he doing? He's like, I'm putting the fire out! I'm putting the fire out!
I guess this is what happens when you live your whole life in a tower. You know, you get minimal interactions. All his goons are shy guys. Like, all right, well, we're in these masks. We don't have to make eye contact with them directly. So,
the shy guys are like, Luigi looks like, is this comedy? He's like, we just kind of look away.
Believe it or not, I don't know where he gets it from. He pays well, but it comes. That in itself seems like its own price, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that makes me want to quit.
So, from here, Luigi, this is where kind of like Luigi starts to take more initiative. And he's just saying like, man, what the fuck are we gonna do? And that's where the Floyd's like, oh, hey, well, tell you what, I got a makeup kit for you. He's like, get the fuck out of my face with the makeup kit. I need a miracle. Wait a minute. And then that's where he gets this idea to essentially, because Peach is knocked out, to swap clothes with Princess Peach and then doll himself up with makeup. And it's leading up to a reveal. And he's wearing one of those, it's very of the moment, he's wearing one of those Corona masks.
Yeah.
So
it's very, very Asian of them to have that on.
well, say the last panel of this chapter is unsettling because it's Luigi in drag with one of those face masks with every male Koopaling surrounding him with their hands up.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like the part in like fucking Final Fantasy VII where like when you're like breaking in like with the dress and everything like that, and they're like, oh, whoever doesn't win, fucking throw it to my fucking like goons. they could take, you know, the sloppy seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so what ends up happening is Luigi basically swapped places with Princess Peach. She's wearing the face mask. Peach has a nightmare about she's about to marry Mario. She's all happy. Then at the last minute, Bowser pops in, and that's when they do more of these funny Bowser facial expressions. I guess any other character, it's whatever, but it's Bowser, so you're not used to seeing him drawn like this.
I know. Well, then the next thing is like, I just feel like Peach fucking wakes up, and then it's like, well, this one's like, you think when she wakes up, she's like, oh, what the fuck happened last night?
Once again, Yoshi looms over her with like that, like this super ominous, like, I think that's the thing about it. There's the things that are like, because looking at Yoshi that angle, that's how he would look. But at that angle, it is super ominous and just kind of like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, his fucking nose is taken up with like pretty much the whole like kind of panel, and then his eyes are just kind of poking over with just a little bit of a Matthew McConaughey look, like, hey, what's going on, Princess Peach?
What I like about princesses is they get older, I stay the same age.
And then as she's even running away, Yoshi's just like, yeah.
Or vice versa. Sorry.
Like, well, even as she's running away, he's like, yeah, you keep on running. Yoshi know where you live.
I'll catch up, don't you worry.
And then, of course, fucking famous Floyd, or, you know, friendly Floyd's like, hey! You wanna
no, it's funny because she bumps into him, and she's like, who the fuck are you? She runs the other direction. Someone's rapey uncle. Go the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey there, kiddo. Get the fuck out of here.
And then, of course, she just, like, finds her, like, the one last, like, Toad, whatever. Which I guess, this Toad, technically, I guess, would almost be like the Toad from Mario 2. Because he's here the whole time.
He is. They never give him a name. But I think it's one of those things, like, do we want to kill him off, or do we want to, like, we can't kill him off. It's technically a kid's book. Like, well, I guess he's just going to hang out. We ever going to call him a name? No, it's just, it's a toad. It's not a person. It doesn't have a soul.
Yeah, shit. They're
toad. He takes off those aviator sunglasses, just these little black little soulless dots for eyes. Fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. You fucking
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, put a fucking toilet brush in one hand and have him go to fucking work.
If he doesn't get, if he can't fix it, he's going down the drain with his brother. That's how my brother disappeared. Yeah, and you're gonna join him soon if you don't shut the fuck up and get the scrubbing.
And you know what? I don't fucking care how many times the plumbers tell us not to shove toads down the fucking drain pipes. I'm gonna keep doing it anyways.
Yeah, because either I'm gonna behead them if they don't. That's how Peach rolls.
Exactly. I'll fucking eat their heads off and grow fucking huge. Fuck you. But and she's like fucking running away and whatnot. She's like, I'm gonna go fucking save Mario. She's like, well, what the fuck? Like, when I have these fucking overalls, I just like, there's this moment she sort of just has where it's just like, wait a second.
Overalls aren't my style. Yeah.
She's like, overalls aren't my style, but it's almost that kind of thing. It's just like, you know, this like in her head, she's like, what the fuck am I wearing? And
actually,
who the fuck took my clothes off? Well,
I think she looks cool with overalls.
I was thinking that exact same thing too. I'm like, that's a cool look. Like, it'd be kind of neat to see, because this is something like I don't think I've ever seen. There's probably some fan art that's out there like this, but like almost like a Princess Peach plumber suit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, make it like, instead of having, you know, she has green because she has Luigi's costume on here, but like maybe she has, you know, like a pink costume, you know, with like, says like a P up there on the hat and everything like that. I just think that'd be a kind of a neat look. It's like, I've never officially seen that. As I know, if you probably look that up, there's somebody that's drawn that, but.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. But just something about just the way in this art style like that, it just looks cool, you know. So, but anyway, moving on. That's where Mario, just the way they draw Bowser through a bunch of this right here.
He's got the rapey eyes when he's like looking through the fucking TV set, and then he's fucking like a bull. He's got like the air coming out of his nose, like.
Just like, because you know Luigi, since he's got the mask on, he's all like, he's just basically telling him everything he wants to hear. And he's just like, why are you wearing that face mask? We see your beautiful face. He's like, I'm sick. He's just like, oh, you got a cold? Want me to kiss you and make you feel better? No, it's okay. I don't want to get you sick too. And like, she loves me.
Honestly, like fucking Bowser's fucking faces.
And there's like one of these in here where he's like, he has the dreamy anime eyes again.
Yeah, or the one's like, it's the happiest day of my life.
Well, and like there's the one of that same page, like top upper right, where he just has a.
Yeah.
Like he just dropped E, or he just came, one or the other.
Or did both.
And then once all the like, he's so happy that he's demanding these guys make this like 100-foot tall cake, and he's so happy that he just like screams, and they're like, what the fuck, and they all fall by. I thought he was so happy he ran through the cake for a minute, but and then like Luigi once he gets left alone for a minute, he goes in, he's like, hey Mario, I'm gonna get you out of here. And that's where that's where the Koopalings come back. Says, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get you guys. Let's kill Mario. Want to watch us kill Mario? It'll be fun, you know. We can set him on fire. We can feed him some fish. we can do the Braveheart thing where he like set his intestines on fire and chop his dick off. Like, we don't have to do that just yet. No, you know.
Okay, and, I guess we'll order pizza first.
Yeah, and they're all excited. So it's like, I'm just gonna order 2 of every pizza you guys want, and that's where I'm
a fucking princess.
Floyd, basically, Floyd and Princess get into this box of pizzas, and it's made to look like a Domino logo. And Yoshi comes running by, look like with the glasses and a hat on, and they're like, "The pizza's here!" And then all of a sudden, like the box flings open, and Peach comes out with a bomb, like, "We're gonna blow this motherfucker down!"
She fucking like Trojan horses her way in there and whatnot.
And Floyd's like, what the fuck? I was just trying to sell some fucking bombs. I didn't think I was be part of the scheme.
I didn't know I was be part of this terrorist act here. Bowser's one of my best customers. I didn't know that's where we were going. He can't see me here.
I'm also an arms dealer. Did I mention? Because I just got all these bombs. I'm not sure where they got them from, but I think Floyd had them or something. But
and they're like,
anyway,
this sounds weird. They're like Super Mario Brothers 2 bombs, if that makes sense. I know,
well, you do see a shy guy
regular
in the back.
bombs, but like, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna pull it from Mario, they're not bombs.
Even though this is pulling from Mario World, it's kind of more encompassing I mean, this is probably trying to sell Mario World at the time, but it's probably just trying to encompass Mario altogether because they don't go to Dinosaur Island other than just to get Yoshi for a second. Everything else is much more just Koopas, Goombas, the Koopalings, and Bowser. You maybe see the Resners for a second, but beyond that, there's like it's mostly just just a lot of Mario 1 villains and Mario and the Koopalings. So
Yeah.
So basically, this is where one of those scenes where like one of Peach's best scenes where she's just like, you know what? I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up. Like, well, if you kill us, you'll die too. Like, I'm willing to do that. They're just like, oh, she's not fucking around. And out of that, Luigi goes and like Yoshi kind of goes and fights some of the Koopalings. Green Beret Toad by this point is just happy and jumping around. Like, dude, weren't you like one of like the murderer? Weren't you like one of the ones with spears that went after her? But okay, whatever. And then Yoshi just kind of fighting off some of the Koopalings. And by this point, like Floyd uses that opportunity, like, hey, well, you guys want to buy some? What was it? Not to worry, I have a special rate on Koopa Crisis kits, my low price. So any chance he can to sell something.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Floyd, he's right there and whatnot. But yeah, then he just like action ensues and whatnot, and just like chaos is going on.
Football players. They have the football players. All right, my bad. That is a Mario World villain.
Well, yeah, well they do have like that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I say for the most part, it definitely is like. I mean, like I guess it has all kinds of Mario stuff, but there is sort of like a bit of Mario World. I guess this thing is just you don't see like the Mario like the new kind of like standard villains they kind of threw in Mario World here for some reason. It's kind of odd, because you don't see those very often in other stuff either. It's almost like they just didn't catch on enough, so they just like, fuck it, back to Goombas and Koopas.
It's more or less what they did is they just said, if you were to make a story that encompassed Mario in general, what would you put in there? What would you not put in there? Like, okay, throw in a little bit of Yoshi, throw in some Mario 1. Not so much Mario 2, but there is kind of a reference, because you do see, like, aside from the bombs, you do see a couple of Shy Guys at the wedding, so small things like that. But it's just kind of Mario in general. Kind of like almost... Apparently, when they make that Mario Illumination movie, I'm not sure how much of it, but they're pulling from this book.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a weird choice, but that's kind of cool.
I think that's a good choice, because this is one of the few times where we see Mario talk a lot, and it's where Peach is a fully fleshed out character.
Well, not say it's not a good choice, but it's an odd one. You know what I mean? Like that's not like you would not think that's like a normal place to go to if you're going for like your Mario story.
It feels like someone did their research at least by picking this one.
Yeah, and kind of wanted to go with something a little bit different, anyways. But that's cool.
So out of that, this big action scene happens. They fight these guys, they fight those guys. They end up blowing the castle up and getting out of there in time. And then I'll say this: Wendy is a lot more. They get across that Wendy's probably the more of the more well put together or more like diabolical of the Koopalings. Most of them are fuck ups, but she's the one that's kind of like, all right, I'm a little bit more in charge here. I think they just wanted someone for Peach to bounce off of more. Like Wendy is almost Peach's rival to a certain extent.
Yeah, like she's almost like the Wario for her.
Yeah. So then going through here, they end up getting out of there. They blow up the castle and just get out of there just barely in time. And that's where they have this thing like, we did it, yeah! They walk off into the sunset, it says the end, and then it stops like, wait a minute, no, we still gotta get home. What are we gonna do? Like, it just goes back.
No, I like that's like, oh shit, we're gonna be fucking trapped here forever. And then like us, like Toad's like, dude, I got an idea. Send me fucking up there. And it's just like one of those ones like, yeah, I'll bring a fucking rescue party for it. Like, you just almost see it like, sure, okay, go for it. Then it's like later that day, like, where the fuck's that Toad at? That motherfucker said he'd be back here in 2 fucking hours.
Never trust a mushroom. Yeah, and basically he comes back, and you could tell, I mean, I knew right off the bat once I saw him because he looked all a little different, but they're essentially Koopas dressed up like Toads, and then they steal, because the pipe they got to get to, it's up in the sky under a cloud, so they had one cape, so he flies up there and gets up and takes the and says, I'll bring back the rescue party. And then from there, that's where the Koopas fucked it up, And then like he's like, I'm sorry, princess. It's okay. Your execution will wait. Like, no. You failed me, Toad number 438.
Yeah, down the pipes with you. And then
You'll be
Mario's
joining
like,
your
no,
brother-
no, not the pipes. Anywhere but the fucking pipes. Stop, Princess. You got to stop shoving those fucking toad corpses down the pipes.
Look, if you want it done, let me know. I know where the marshes are. I got ties in Brooklyn.
We get rid of them. No fucking clogged pipes.
What was that asshole who, union worker guy, Scorsese just made a movie on him. Forgot his name.
Which movie?
Union worker guy who disappeared and no one and I'm forgetting. Basically, no one knows what happened. I forgot his name. I forgot his fucking name. I was gonna make a joke like my grandfather's the one that killed that motherfucker. That would have been funny if I remember the guy's name. But yeah, another opportunity wasted. But hey, we probably got another like 30 or 40 minutes to make up for it.
That's okay. We get more great Yoshi scenes, so that's what makes up for anything. So once they realize they're like, oh shit, we're getting out of here. And then there's just that one Koopa Toad who's just like get the fuck out of here, Mario, and it kicks him in the face. And I like how like Mario doesn't really get it. It's like, Luigi, something weird's going on. These fucking toads got some attitude. I'm not used to this. And then that fucking Koopa Toad just like cuts the rope. He's like, oh shit, he cut the fucking rope.
That little bastard.
You know what, Peach?
Yeah,
shove him down the fucking pipes. I don't mind cleaning his corpse out.
And that's where they're like, you know what, we gotta go after these things. So Yoshi eats a blue Koopa, and then he grows wings. But when the drawing they show of him,
it's like
when he has,
he just just looks like he's ready to take just like a great shit right there. Just like, oh yeah. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Well, it looks like his eyes are about to roll back. His mouth is huge. Like that's the best only thing. Just a lot of the expressions they give the characters in this. So then they hop on Yoshi's back and try to fly after him, but then Yoshi just accidentally spits out the thing, and they land in front of a haunted mansion. And from there, that's where you see the Koopas and Bowser and the Koopalings all watch through a television screen. Like, this is a trap I set up for them just in case they made it this far. So they can't help it. They're in the middle of nowhere. They're tired. They're hungry. They're gonna walk into this cozy little cabin, and they're gonna fall for it. And the Koopalings are like, I don't know about it. Like, oh, shut up. Just watch. You'll see. And then Mario's like, I don't know about this. It's too convenient. We're tired. We're hungry. It doesn't just basically says the opposite of what like Bowser says. And then it just shows all the Koopalings and Bowser just being like, oh, fuck.
And it's like, Bowser's like, wait, I got a trump card. Fucking throws out some fucking, not Parmesan cheese. He throws out some provolone cheese. It's like, okay, here's the thing. Luigi, come on, let's just say this. If you're at a creepy haunted mansion and there's like cheese somewhere, are you gonna fucking just eat that cheese off the floor that God knows where it's been?
If you're the Japanese-Italian hybrid of Shaggy, yeah.
I guess that's true. That's what they were going with.
Yeah. It's like, he's green, you're green. Yeah, okay, whatever. And I think they're just trying to they get across that Luigi's always hungry in this. Probably Mario's always taking the food from him. That's why Mario's never that hungry.
Yeah, I was like, you know that the older brother gets to eat first. Whatever's left over is what you get.
Going by old world rules. And that's where they start getting attacked by boos, and they're trying to run out of there. And this is actually probably one of the, by this point, I was already well into the book before this point, but this is like, all right, this is actually a lot funnier or a lot more clever than I thought it would be. They do that kind of like reverse psychology, Bugs Bunny shit, where Mario dresses up like a psychiatrist and starts talking to one of the boos, but it actually goes a little deeper than you think, and Mario just reverse psychology this boo like, oh, so you're late, you're early for your appointment, come on, take a seat, it's okay. And it is a little Looney Tunes, but I think it works, because he then goes on telling the Toad, like, I know you're worried because at one point in time you were bullied, they took all your lunch money, they shoved you in the locker every day, but you don't gotta lash out at the world. There's a big, great universe. And he's just saying it, and like Luigi starts crying, like, it happened to me too. Shut the fuck up, this isn't about you.
And no, you're not getting that fucking lunch money back. I spent it on hookers. You're welcome.
Hookers and blow. And then Mario goes on, and as he's saying this, it's showing pictures of the cosmos. He says, "It's a great universe out there. You can be whatever you want. You can do whatever you want." He's just saying this awe-inspiring speech to these boos, and they're just like, they have these big anime eyes again, like, oh, and then they're like, "Go on, just be who you want to be. You're not a servant to Koopa. You're your own person." Just this super optimistic, bright, and the future is yours. And as they're walking away, Mario still has that smile. He doesn't look over his shoulder. He's like, "Are they still there?" And he's smiling. He's like, "No, they're gone." Good. They just jump on Yoshi and get the fuck out of there.
No, I know that part, just doesn't give a fly fuck. They just rip those clothes off. I love how fucking Luigi, of course, dresses up as a woman too. He's got that fucking James thing going on. I'm always the man.
Well, it's like one of those things where it's like, "You're always the woman to me, Luigi. You're always my little sister." Like, why do you gotta say that, Mario? You know why, you stupid bitch.
It's because our father fucking put our sister down the toilet and put her down the drain. That's why. Yeah, it's got fucking dark. She fucking.
And he did it with the clothes hanger. It was on your birthday. He didn't want to spend two gifts on the same day.
He knew if there was one more, mouth to feed in the fucking house, nothing would fucking work. He did it for us, Luigi. He did it for us. That's why we don't have our sister anymore. And that's why you gotta be the sister.
He yelled at you when you tried to throw that clothes hanger away. Say, "Hey, that's a good clothes hanger. You hang it back up."
We don't throw things out in this family. But Dad, you just threw our sister. She was a lost cause. I did it for you. I did it because I loved you, and that's the only time I'm ever gonna say that.
Be grateful. My father never said it to me once, but he said it to me with his eyes and his wrench. What? Why do you think the left side of my head is dented in?
It's not a war scar. Or maybe it is.
Studio audience laugh track. So, they end up going, that's where they end up having, going to Bowser's castle, and, that's where you see all these different villains coming in, trying to, it's kind of funny, because you just see, there's all these different villains, but then you see there's, families of villains, "Oh, yeah, you're going to your, father's boss's wedding today, son. I don't want to go." A lot of that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of
you see a Shy Guy in there a few times, I think.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit in that big old picture and so on, but
and by this point they hypnotized all the Yoshis. The whole Mushroom Kingdom has been taken over. So and they're just parading this massive cake around. And when they're done having the Yoshis wheeled in, they start putting the Yoshis all into a bunch of eggs and storing them. And when Mario and Luigi get there, they kind of sneak in through this pipe, but that leads them into a lava level essentially. Which I was kind of flipping through this, man, did I forget? Do they not have a lava level? Okay, good, they have a lava level. It'd feel weird if they didn't have some kind of castle level in this somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta have Bowser's Castle at some point.
And Peach is refusing to marry him, this and that, but that's where they bring in this one Kamek, and he basically hypnotizes Peach into liking Bowser. Once again, you get the funny Bowser facial expressions. And
Bowser, he yells at that Koopa, he's like, "Bring me that video camera!" Oh yeah, come on, Peach, tell me everything. Just fucking jerking off while holding the camera. Come on, you can do it. Bowser.
Yeah, he's like, "Give me a video camera," and he's just he's saying, "I adore everything about you." He says, yeah. Then it shows two Koopas, what's with him? It's weird. Don't ask.
Yeah, don't ask it. You might want to stand to the left a little bit more.
and then as Mario and Luigi start to get in there, they end up coming across they're in the middle of the wedding, and Mario does a thing "I object" at once.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just kind of busting. There's even there's a couple of these shots too where Princess Peach is almost drawn more detailed. Not as much as the Mario in that beginning of the book, but a couple of them it's they really put those extra details on her that I guess I don't know.
She's in the wedding dress.
Yeah, she's under mind control, so she has more detail. Maybe I'm not too sure, but
this kind of reminds me of the Mario movie that never got made.
Yeah,
the first script, because she was by that point in that script hypnotized.
That's true. Yeah, whatnot.
And she's wearing like she's holding a. She's not all like looking evil or trashy, but she's holding like a bouquet of piranha plants, and the other one she's holding basically a bouquet of like thorns and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So as we go on, that's where we have like Mario fighting. Like he basically tries to save Peach, and he gets kidnapped again. But then Luigi and Yoshi come across this giant cavern of eggs, and Yoshi's just all like Yoshi, Yoshi, because once again he can't speak English. He can just say Yoshi, and Luigi's like, I don't know what you're saying, and then he's flashing back like, wait, you want me to back? Because they just remembered all we gotta do is just bust these eggs open, and then they're free. And he's like, yeah, he's bobbing his head like, okay, let's get. That's when they get like, let's get cracking. They start busting them through, and that's where Luigi comes riding in on an army of Yoshis. Like, if they do pull from this book and they put this part in here, I think this will be very much worth it. I think this will be a very cool scene right here.
Yeah, the Yoshi's charging it is pretty badass. And once again, Mario's captured one more time. This is like the most Mario's ever been captured in like any one story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, there's somewhere in here I forgot to mention. I actually forgot to put this on. This is actually one of the funniest things. This is going a few pages back, but I wanted to mention it, but it just got by me. I think we were talking about the other stuff. When when Peach is getting fitted for the dress, they have it's one of those things where it's like it's shown, not seen. Where not shown, not spoken. Where it's just like, well, where's Princess Peach? Well, she's currently getting dressed, and they have this single picture of Bowser. Where
I love that one. He's just got the yeah, fuck yeah.
Like he doesn't say nothing. It's just him just zooming around a corner. Like, well, he's off again. Like I just kind of like how even his goons are just kind of like they're just kind of like that's our boss. I guess I don't know. He pays well.
It's a weird thing. He's not even into his own fucking species. That's the creepy part of it all. I'm just saying. But it's a good paying job. You know what I mean? Like, what? Am I going to go work for a fucking toad? No. I'm not going to work for a fucking toad. It's like working in Canada. You just can't go anywhere. And they look at you like, yeah, it's fine. You get enough money to go home and, like, get a meal. That's it. He's like, no, fuck it. I want to work for Koopa. You know what I mean? I want to go up in the ranks. I want to have a fucking, like, 401k when I get out of this place.
If it means like stabbing a few toads once in a while or toppling a few kingdoms, I'll do it. Shit, if it doesn't happen to me, if it doesn't happen to me, I might as well do it to somebody else.
Exactly. I don't want to be on the other side of that fence.
Anyway, but going back to that though, right when they have like Luigi leading in on all the Yoshis, they have this scene where they're interrupting the wedding again, and Bowser just has this like, "What? Hey, what is it?" Like the Yoshis, sir, the Yoshis. Like, what about them? Just has just the detail they have on him, right? And not so much the detail, but like just once again the facial expressions they give Bowser in this are just really funny.
No, I know, I like that too. And then you just got like the dirt. What about the Yoshis? You fuck.
and then that's where they come in, and Mario's able to. I think that they use the. They somehow snap Peach out of it. I think. Oh no! Like get out there, hypnotize those Yoshis again. Like I'm on it, sir. He jumps out there. He just gets ran over by them all. And once that dude gets ran over, that's where Peach is released from her like hypnotism thing.
So once that guy's pretty much just brutally murdered by a fucking stampede, it's like fucking like Simba's father. That's when Peach is out. Like she's freed from the mind control, unties Mario. See, Peach saves Mario. Keep that in mind. As Luigi saves fucking like Mario. And
then like Luigi's basically leading the army and fighting other people. Mario then takes that opportunity to go after Bowser. And the Yoshis all start to munch down the cake, which this is not a huge thing. I could see this being more of like they had a big idea for the cake thing, and then they only had X amount of pages. Like, oh well, we wanted to have it be a cool battle over a bridge, over a bunch of lava, but time permitted, it just kind of ends, because then they quickly stop Bowser and the cake topples down. It's like, we did it, cool, right on, and it just kind of ends, because this was just something that was in the back of a Nintendo Power, but still, even though it is just kind of a quick little end like that, it's still a fun book.
Oh yeah, I gotta say, there's that panel, and it's a tiny panel too when you really think about it, where the Yoshis are in the cake, but there's so many fucking Yoshis. I really want to know how long it took to fucking draw that one. I look at that and I go, God, that should have been a splash panel, like And it probably might have been planned like that, and then they're like, oh shit, we only have so much pages left. What?
He had to use a very thin pencil to get in there and make that much detail.
Oh god.
Like try not to smudge it all. Yeah.
God, yeah. I just look at that and I go, God, that looks like you spent a fucking day putting that page together, or that panel together, not in the page.
There's two. There's one where they're inside the cake eating it through, like it's like an anthill, and then there's another one where they're all on top of it munching away.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's actually like 3 of them, because even the bottom left one, not nearly as detailed as the other 2, but still, whew. That just looks like a lot of fucking work for. It's like when the guy comes home and what's going on, honey? Fucking Yoshis. Fucking Yoshis. Fucking Yoshis.
The son's like, wanna play Mario Kart? Go to your fucking room.
Don't you fucking dare tell me to fuck. Fuck you, son. Fuck you. I hate you. Fucking Yoshis.
I got this job painting this comic because you like fucking Mario. But now I just saved my fucking life. I'm probably gonna divorce my fucking wife. Why? Because you like Mario? You want me to take this fucking job? Fuck you! Wife's all like, Charlie.
Yeah. I love his
That's literally the name of the artist, Charlie.
Well, I love how he like it says in the back, it's like, well, his real name is, like an actual super Japanese name, but he says like to Americans, like, fuck it, I'm Charlie.
My dad had an old job where it was a dude it was a Tibetan dude. He had a super long name, and they just called him Chewy.
Yeah, it's just it. Fuck, that sounds like old fashioned. Like, I'm calling Chewy. You can't mind me like a Wookiee. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool, you know. I'm Han Solo, of course, but you can be the Wookiee. You're my sidekick.
I don't think that's what it was, but everyone I'm not sure what it was, but yeah. I thought that was
what else would you be? Like, Chewy?
I don't know if my dad was the one to initiate it. I'm hoping he wasn't, but by that point, he's like, I'm Chewy, whatever.
Well, probably back in the olden days, so that wouldn't have been a big deal type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Nowadays, people would find a way to make it that. But back then, it would have just been like, hey, he's cool. His name's Chewy. Fucking awesome. Yeah. Don't you fucking love Chewbacca? I fucking love Chewbacca.
Fist bump. Do it. He does a good job. Yeah, it's like, he has it down to a T.
He's never even seen Star Wars. Can you believe that?
So the next one, I guess this is another one where it's just kind of a little bit more of, I think they're trying to sell Mario, either Wario Land or Mario Land 2. That's why this next book, or next single issue is trying to sell. And this is funny because it makes Mario look kind of like an oblivious asshole. But something about that just makes it funny. Because he gets this letter in the mail from Wario saying, oh, we're childhood friends. I remember when we used to, pick vegetables out of the garden. We go flatten coins. We go play cowboys and cow rustlers. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun! I can't wait to see him again. Then Wario's like, that fucking asshole Mario. He would always whenever we picked vegetables, he'd always pick the radishes and leave me to pick the piranha plants. When we were flattening coins, it shows this picture of them holding coins, and then it shows a picture of a thwomp coming down, crushing kid Wario. And then it shows Mario running and chasing he's just I think it's funny to the level of we played Sheriff and Rustler 1,256 times. He has it down to that many. He counted it down that many times. Of all times, I got to be sheriff once, And then after 20 years, I'm finally gonna get my revenge on Mario. This and that, and Mario's on his way there, and he has all these monsters. I don't know if these are from, like I said, Mario Land 2 or Wario Land.
Well, this is before Wario Land because this is 1992. This comic right here, still.
So it is Mario Land 2 then, because I remember there is a witch in that game, and I think there were pigs.
Well, because that's another one of those games that has a ton of enemies in it that you never see in anything else Mario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really stands out, and it's also kind of the bigger, ambitious one. That's the Mario World of Mario Land games, basically up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mario just goes and. Most of the villains he comes across, he just kind of accidentally stops them, or they in some way accidentally help him. At some point, he comes across a witch, and she misses him, or she flings some lids at him, and then they get attached to his feet. He says, "Oh, I can walk on water. Thanks, lady." "No way." He just keeps walking. All right, cool, bye. And then he comes across. This is probably one of the funniest parts. He comes across this giant octopus in the water. And he's like, "Oh my god, a giant octopus monster! Like, you shall not pass! Like, you don't look that good. Are you feeling alright?" Like, "Well, I'm a seawater monster, and I'm in freshwater, so I'm not feeling myself." Like, "Oh, I got some salt for you." Like, "Oh, thank you so much." Pulls a bunch of salt in there, and the thing just floats up like dead. Like, "Oh, this is sugar," and then just like, "Never mind," just walks away.
Well, time to hit the road. Once I know, it's like, this is like one of those ones where it's like, you never think of Mario being just like the total like fucking dick, but that's just like all it says. He's like, he just sort of like puts people in fucking shitty situations, but like not really intentionally, just kind of happens.
And then he bumps into Wario, and Wario has this total, like, he has, like, his eyes look in different directions, so, like, and he has, like, this big brawl with Wario, and Wario's, like, a lot bigger, but then he, like, just unplugs this little thing out of his side, and he just deflates. He's just like, "Wario, what are you doing? Why are you acting so pissed off?" Like, "Oh, well, when we were kids, you were always so mean to me," and this and that. Mario literally says, "Come on, cheer up. Don't be such a wimp. That was 20 years ago."
And then I saw the things like, he's like, "Come on, man, like, let's play games like we used to always do. Remember when I was a fucking cowboy? Get over here, you dirty fucking wrestler."
Then it says the ending things is, "Will Wario ever get over his inequities of his childhood? Will he ever get even with Mario? And will he ever get to be sheriff again? Find out."
And that's just one of those ones. It's just kind of funny because it's like, I feel like that's such a different like interpretation of Wario. Because Wario, my whole life, Wario was always like the ultimate Captain Republican. He was the guy who was just gonna cheapskate you. He was gonna build the biggest bomb factory ever, and so on. And you know, in Mario Party, God forbid you let him fucking win.
Oh yeah, I know. We said this before. Like, before I hated Wario. Now, like, I really like Wario. I don't know what it is. I think just because I always associated him, because the computer playing as Wario would always fuck you. But just character-wise, just something about him, because I think you said this, he's like the Lobo of Mario Brothers. Like, I can get behind that now. I don't know what it is, but something about that character I just like. I still couldn't give two solid shits for Waluigi, but, you know.
Well, I think it's that weird kind of thing. Like, I think Wario, he's like a character that he becomes more appealing the older you sort of get. Like, I don't think he's really appealing to, like, almost like a kid in a sense. The kid just kind of, "Oh, who's this fat jackass guy?" Like, I don't, fuck that guy. You know, I don't want to be Mario and Luigi. But I think as you get older,
at that time
like,
when, like, Wario... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's like, I think when you just get older, though, it's just kind of like, yeah, I kind of like that guy. Kind of a fucking asshole, you know what I mean? Does what he wants, you know what I mean? He's, you know, doesn't fucking take shit from anybody. Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of funny. Fucking, you know.
When Wario Land came out for the Game Boy, I was initially like, why the fuck am I playing as evil Mario when I could playing as regular Mario? That was kind of my thought process as a kid. But now I'm like, oh, you know, there's room for everything.
Yeah, well, and those games actually are kind of fun. I think what threw me off is just to remember because it was called, Super Mario Land 3. Dude, it's going to be fucking... And you're like, wait a second, what? It's not...
You're not playing as Mario?
Yeah, like they sold it kind of weird, I thought. And then it's like, oh, okay. But like in the long run, it's like, oh, no, those Wario Land games actually are pretty fun and so on, but...
Did you ever play the one for GameCube? I never did. I was just curious about it.
I never did either. God, we should track that one down. That'd be kind of fun. I kind of forgot about that game until you mentioned it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the Super Mario Adventures book, and it's pretty good. I highly recommend it to anybody who's into Mario history.
Yeah, I really dug it a lot. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those ones, like those Nintendo Power kind of comics are always just really neat. And I do kind of wonder, I'm not too sure if this kind of like was originally made for Nintendo Power or if it was one of those ones like, because I have some Mario comics that come, you know, like those in Japan, they have those big fat fucking comic books. It's just like, hey kids, here's fucking 1,500 pages of like comics. You know what I mean? And in there's like a Mario comic and so on in there. And it's kind of about the length of how these issues sort of are, or these, I guess, chapters are. So I kind of wonder if that is almost like the total continuation of this, like almost kind of like the Archie Sonics, but instead they were doing it in like one of those like, I forgot those things are fucking called. I used to know it. I have one sitting over there because I remember when finding one like in like the 90s and it was like, what the fuck is this? Like this is what they get in Japan. Like Japan is so much better than us.
Well, I want to say that Mario comic, I'm not sure if it's still going on, but it was going on for a long time, from like around Super NES era to as far as like at least Wii or GameCube. So, and it was more of like this weird, wacky, zany, and then this different art style. And it was kind of, even though they're pulling from games, it was this very zany, kind of wacky. Even the characters look different in that. I remember the one you showed me. There's a part where Wario is more or less shitting at him, but it was in a very like cartoony fashion. Like I want to say he just like his ass, maybe he's a robot or something, but like his ass opened up like a flap, like just like a metal flap, and then you saw like coiled turds shooting out.
And that sounds probably about right, because that's like the kind where like, oh, we're not putting that to the American audience, but in Japan that's totally fine to shoot on somebody while you're walking down the street.
It's just a Wednesday in Japan, yeah.
Well, that's like that for example is like you found like those like maybe it's called Koro Comics. I think that's what that thing was called. Could be kind of wrong, but you found one of those and you're like, it's like almost, it sort of like proves like, see, dude, it's fucking like in like these comics like in Japan, like they're fucking more adult. More adult because he's shitting on somebody. Like
that thing, because there'll be that kid like, dude, there's this episode of like Dragon Ball Z where like Vegeta and Bulma fuck, and it's like a whole episode. Like, no, that's not fucking real. You're fucking lying. And then there's this one kid who is actually telling the truth. He's like, there's this one issue in a Japanese Mario comic where Wario shits on Mario. Like, okay, no, it's fucking real. Look.
It's just like, oh fuck, it is. I mean, I can't translate it, but it fucking is. Sure looks like it. Yeah, good times in fucking Mario Brothers. This comic's fun. If you can find one of these ones, grab it. Super Mario Adventures is really cool. Hopefully in the long run they'll release more of these, but I'm not too sure. These always kind of remind me of that kind of thing where like they tried it, they released, and they're like, that kind of came and went.
Yeah, I don't like Star Fox and Metroid never really. I mean, they made money, but they never really did like Mario or Zelda numbers. So I think for that reason, I'm not sure if we're ever going to get a reprint of those, but I really hope we do.
Yeah, if not, I just got to track them down old school and just find them in the Nintendo Powers and whatnot. But yeah, it's like, it's one of those ones, like, because even these ones, it felt like they kind of came, and I don't know, they probably just like, they didn't sell that well, comics aren't that popular, you know, because it really is like one of those ones where it's like, this is like for a very specific audience, you know what I mean? It's for that audience that had fucking Nintendo Power, and that's not just really everybody. Some people just kind of forgot, but yeah, more fun stuff. So yeah, we'll continue on our Mario May still, because fuck it, we can still do it. Why not? It's still Mario time. There's still more good Mario stuff to do. And other than that, though, go to oldmanorange.com for more podcast comics like Pizza Boys, with pretty much issue 9's out by now. And then, yeah, all our old stuff. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
Oh, that gangster, remember? I think his name was Johnny Hoffa, or Jimmy Hoffa.
Who?
Anyway, I'm Ryan Dunnigan.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. It comes around way later.
It came back to me. I didn't have to look it up. It came back to me.
Yeah, it did.
Jimmy Hoffa. Okay. If you're still wondering about that joke. Anyway, yeah. I'm Ryan Dunnigan.
We'll see you some other time.
Later, folks. Bye.
Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Sure, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, animation, and a whole lot more. We also have the Old Man Orange blog going with all kinds of fun stuff. If you easily want to support the show, use one of our Amazon links either on the website or in the description of the podcast below. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show either on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Newgrounds, or anywhere else that you seem to get this podcast from. Grab the sitcom-styled comic book Pizza Boys on either Comic Central, Comixology, or Amazon. Want more podcasts? Check out the Indie Comics Club over at Comic Central. I also got a workout website called Thor's Hidden Gym, filled with fitness tips and tricks, videos, and a whole lot more fun stuff in the calisthenics world. Talk to us on Twitter at Spencer S. Holmes and Dunnigan Ryan. Like our Facebook pages of Old Man Orange Productions and Pizza Boys Comic. Thanks again, we're out of here.